Good day, I'm RTL teacher Mr. Justin C. Montoya. Welcome to the first episode of Just Learn. For today's video lesson, we will discuss about purchasing and meal preparation. I am expecting that at the end of this video lesson, you should be able to Number 1. Identify types of purchases. Number 2. Distinguish safety handling procedures. Number 3. List important temperatures in food preparation. Number 4. Determine the quantity with the right price of goods. And number 5. Develop skills in purchasing goods. A few reminders before we start. Number 1. Watch and listen carefully. Number 2. Take down notes. Number 3. Pause and play the video for better understanding. Number 4. Replay this video for clear concepts. And of course, number 5. Enjoy learning. So let's start. Planning is an activity wherein you are challenged to think and decide in advance the preparation of food you need to serve. A wide selection of products requires you to compare, evaluate, and make a wise judgment to come up for the quality of food you serve. In food preparation, it is important to use a recipe. This will serve as a cooking guide that includes a list of ingredients, methods of cooking, measurement of ingredients, preparation, and the presentation of the food that we prepare. But always bear in your mind that safety is the topmost concern of every person at home or any establishment, as everyone is vulnerable to acquire diseases in food intake. Proper hygiene and sanitation are indeed important. So, what is purchasing? Purchasing is a process of buying an item with the right amount of food at the right place, at the right time, and at the right source. Purchasing has 3 categories, namely perishable, semi-perishable, and staple or non-perishable goods. Perishable goods are foods that deteriorate quickly when not stored properly. Perishable commodities usually require some sort of refrigerated storage. So these are the example of perishable goods. We have dairy products and eggs, meat and poultry, seafood, cooked foods and leftovers. And we also have fruit and vegetables. Now, second one is semi-perishable foods. These are foods that can be kept for a limited period of time. Semi-perishable commodities are those that do not require refrigeration but still have a limited shelf life. They include things like potatoes, onions, pumpkins, and salamis. These items are usually kept on shelves in the storeroom complex, where they get plenty of air circulation around them. Potatoes need to be kept away from light as they will start sprouting. And last, staple or non-perishable foods. These are the foods that can be kept for an unlimited period of time. But technically speaking, there is no such thing as non-perishable goods, as all goods deteriorate over time. But some commodities deteriorate so slowly that they are called non-perishable, Examples of perishable goods are flour, spices, canned goods, jars and bottles, nuts, noodles, and pasta. Cross-contamination is the physical movement or transfer of harmful bacteria from one person, object, or place to another. There are different types of cross-contamination. We have hand-to-food, food-to-food, and equipment-to food. Hand-to-food contamination occurs when contaminated hands handle cooked or ready-to-eat foods. Humans can easily transfer bacteria from their bodies or clothes to food during many steps of food preparation. For example, a person may cough into their hand or touch raw poultry and continue to prepare a meal without washing their hands in between. Second, cross-contamination is the food-to-food contamination. This occurs when harmful organisms from one food contaminate other foods. And lastly, adding contaminated foods to non-contaminated foods results in food-to-food cross-contamination. This allows harmful bacteria to spread. Raw, undercooked, or improperly washed food can harbor large amounts of bacteria such as Salmonella, Clostridium perfringens, Campylobacter, Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, and Listeria monocytogenes, all of which can harm your health if consumed. Last, equipment-to-food contamination occurs with the improper use of tools and utensils. Equipment-to-food is one of the most common yet unrecognized types of cross-contamination. Bacteria can survive for long periods on surfaces like countertops, utensils, cutting boards, storage containers, and food manufacturing equipment. When equipment is not washed properly or unknowingly contaminated with bacteria, it can transfer large volumes of harmful bacteria to food. This can happen at any point during food production, both at home and in food manufacturing. Bacteria can grow based on the following conditions. Food is based on the mishandling of food items that leads to contamination. Next is acidity. This is based on the acidity level present to the food. Acidity level below 4.6, bacteria will not grow. Between 4.6 to 7.0 acidity level, bacteria is now starting to flourish. And acidity level between 7.0 to 9.0, the bacteria can survive. Time. It is based on how bacteria grow in hours. Avoid eating foods between 2 to 4 hours stacked. Oxygen. It is based on the amount of oxygen present in a food. Anaerobic, without oxygen, bacteria is present. Facultative, anaerobic, with or without oxygen. Microaerophilic organism, little amount of oxygen. Moisture is based on the amount of water available for bacterial activity. Standardized recipe is a food service operation which includes planning, purchasing, forecasting, recipe costing, and pricing. There are different parts of a standardized recipe. First is the title or the name of the recipe. Second one is the category. This is the classification of food, whether it is fruit, vegetables, salad, main dish, appetizer, or side dish. Next part is the serving size. This is the single serving of the final product. Next is the recipe yield. These are the total number of servings. Next is the tools, utensils, and equipment. These are the devices needed in food preparation. Next is the ingredients. These are the raw materials used in the recipe. Next one is the weight or the volume, the amount of each ingredient in the recipe. Next is the instructions or the procedures in preparing the recipe. Last part is the temperature and time. This is the appropriate heat and time requirement for a product. That's all. Thank you for watching. I hope that all of you gained new knowledge about household services. See you on our next episode of Just Learn. Again, this is your daily teacher, Mr. Justin C. Montoya. Good day and enjoy learning.